Greetings gamers, Fayot here, and today I want to talk about the travesty that is the new couple of PlayStation 5 controllers that are coming out pretty soon. One is the Dualsense Edge by Sony itself, and the other one is the Wolverine V2 Pro by Razer. Now, I am a huge fan of Razer products. I have 4 or 5 of their controllers. My mouse is Razer, my mousepad is Razer, my keyboard is Razer, and of course Sony, I have pretty much all their consoles that ever released, and my TV is Sony as well. So I've been supporting both companies for a very long time. My problem nowadays is they've totally lost track of the cost of certain peripherals and services. And I wanted to touch upon this, especially when we can verify that it's not always a matter of materials, it is a matter of greed. So let's start with Razer, and I will go back to Sony right afterwards. Razer is releasing the Wolverine V2 Pro controller for the PlayStation 5 for 250 euros. That's half the price of the console, give or take. For your information, and to make it abundantly clear that I'm not joking, this is the Wolverine V2 Pro for the Xbox, and it costs about 140 right now. Okay. Before anyone starts saying in defense of Sony that, oh, it's the haptics cost, this will not have haptics on the PlayStation 5. Okay. No haptics. And it's pretty much the exact same controller, just licensed by Sony for PlayStation 5. Why is that controller 110 euros more expensive than Microsoft's? I'm gonna tell you. I pretty much gave up on Microsoft on Xbox One, and Xbox Series X kinda won me over again. Then I upgraded my PC, so having a Series X pretty much became obsolete. But I can see that what Microsoft has been doing for the past couple of years is trying to improve their product, and their main product right now is Game Pass, and Sony has been trying to raise their prices. Now, it is to be expected that Microsoft will license a plethora of controllers to be used with the Series S, Series X, and of course the PC, because they have a very open ecosystem, and self-explanatory that they wanna give you options so you can enjoy your games on any of these systems, and of course create a positive public opinion. Sony seems to not care about that shit. And if we think about the cost of a normal Dualsense, that pretty much is no different than when they started coming out, we can understand that it's not even the haptics that would have caused this raise in price, because all Dualsense controllers for the PlayStation 5 have haptics. It's how it is. So why are we seeing this? Well, let's say that Joe and Timmy, totally random names by the way, are shareholders of a company. And for whatever reason, they see value in their product. They claim that the costs of making said products have increased. For controllers, that's not the case. And even if it is the case, the reason why you have to pay those extravagant amounts is pretty much self-explanatory. Joe and Timmy don't want to take the hit, and you will, because they make the choices and pull the levers. So if you want to play with a controller that is not 4 triggers, or 2 bumpers and 2 triggers, and 4 face buttons, they're gonna suck your blood. And you're seeing gameplay of Returnal today from my gallery of saved replays. That's not random at all, because when Returnal came out, and that's a PlayStation 5 exclusive of course, that you cannot play anywhere else at the moment, I was baffled. I was like, first and foremost, the way the company mapped the controls was asinine for such a fast-paced game. And secondly, you need paddles to play this shit, man. You either map your buttons as jump and dodge on your bumpers, And you have to have a certain amount of experience with third-person shooters to do that. You have to understand that making this change will be functional, and then you have to remap your brain in order to play the game in this fashion, because you will reach the conclusion that the original mapping is not doing it for you after a certain amount of hours. I was like, if we just had 2 paddles, that'd be perfect. But we don't. We didn't for the longest of time. You either had to go Battle Beaver and have them make you a custom controller for a pretty hefty amount. Word on the street is that they produce pretty well crafted products. Of course, their basis is a standard PlayStation 5 Dualsense. Or you have to go to SCAF. I don't need to say much about going to SCAF, especially when it comes to pricing. And we didn't have an actual alternative. It was a Dualsense because Sony wanted to sell Dualsenses to make the monies. And for a couple of years, the only thing we could do was play with Dualsense. And sometimes it was hell. In certain games, it was freaking hell. Last but not least, because of the awful quality of their triggers and their sticks. So, after going through 3 Dualsenses, I was about to make the jump to the edge. I was like, if it's modular, you can swap components and make it work even if something fails. They're asking for 250 euros, 25 more for replacement parts. The controller is barely modular and it has 2 paddles. 2! Why? Why should I pay you 250 euros? Sony? And then I was waiting for Razer. And Razer fucked us even worse because there are no haptics. It's one of the selling points for the PlayStation 5 after all. It's the same price. Of course it has 4 paddles because that's the Wolverine design. But the price is unacceptable. So, my advice to you guys is as follows. Comb the competition. For me, it's gonna be the Victrix BFG Pro this time. I'll have a link to their site in the description below so you can go check it out. A controller that is totally modular. You can even turn it into a fighting stick. You can interchange the location of each of the sticks. Then if you want to put a cross there, you put a cross there and remove the stick altogether. Totally modular, goes at 180. And for me, if it is slightly above 150, it's probably worth it if you want to have a really precise controller that can do the things that the standard controller can't. As I've been discussing with people that are into the industry and really study it, why don't our standard controllers come with paddles in this day and age? 4 map buttons just don't cut it. It's because they want us to buy these specialized controllers. And even if we don't buy it for the company that's selling the console, they will license what we buy and get a portion of the profits. And if you ask me, guys, I'm not a fanboy of any company because I have a functional brain. No peripherals should have the cost of the machine itself, and if you ask me, Microsoft has been doing a better job of allowing you to have choice of where you want to play what. Because with Game Pass now, the way they integrated their PC libraries to the Xbox and vice versa, there's a ton of choice, and they barely demand you buy stuff anymore. So controllers wise, peripherals wise, and choice wise, there's no comparison. But we want to play fucking Returnal with the best possible controller. Maybe you want to play your God of Wars with it, or your Ratchet and Clanks with it, and it's totally up to your choice. But please, guys, please don't be lemmings for the companies. These asking prices are insane, and it's not because they cannot do otherwise. They don't want to. And every single person involved in this decision making is in a better financial state than you are. They're fucking millionaires. Okay. They could take the hit after 2 years of forcing us to play with one controller and say, you know what, you didn't have any choices, but here's a couple of affordable ones. Don't give them that amount of money for these controllers, especially the Edge. The Edge is unacceptably expensive. And we see that trend moving forward. They're gonna price the VR headset that they're putting out for $700. Like, dude, the console is cheaper. Like, fuck me. What's on offer here? Does that make sense to you? That's all I wanted to say about this mess. The BFG Pro from Victrix is releasing on December 1st. Much more logical pricing, much more choice on how you modulate it. So, I don't know. It's every individual's pocket. So, I'm not gonna tell you what to do and what not to do. I'm just giving you a piece of my mind in case you care about my opinion. I know some of you out there, especially from my viewer base, do. And yeah, I don't think I'm gonna do another opinion piece until, you know, the holidays. So I hope they're awesome for you. Sub, like, share, hit the notification bell if you're gonna be notified about uploads and streams. And until next time, be well, stay frosty, and always strive for perfection. Cheers!